Happy Tuesday, everybody. Here we are again live and for the love of dragons. My name is Araya Anra. I come to you weekly with information, tips, topics, answers to questions on the dragons. How to work with them, how to interact with them, who are they, how do they influence our world, how are they connected to our world. They are so prevalent in every part of what's happening, both historically and right now. And so coming in today, I got to choose because I didn't have a question this week specifically, but I do know that I'm working on perspective, on getting everybody to lift their perspective out of their individual game into the world and above the 3D world game, to see the world as it is from the fifth dimensional perspective. And that's where the air dragons come in. So I thought it'd be fun today to talk a little bit about the air dragons. I don't have the canvas printed of the air dragons specifically. It is in the deck that's coming. I announced the Oracle deck pre-order recently. Excited to hopefully ship those out early May. But the air dragon lineage is more than just the air dragons. So if you have the book, which this is an older version, but there's a chart within it that shows the dragon lineages of the love, the wisdom, and the power families, and where and who they are, and work to connect with them. So I thought it would be fun to go into that section of the book. This is from the original printing, so this is not the current version copy. But what's interesting about this original version, the spiral bind, makes it very nice to open to specific pages if you're trying to do meditations and like that spiral version. So one thing I will note on that before the new edition came out, which doesn't have too many changes in text, we just added a lot of color and some beautiful images and made it a nice paperback and hardback edition. But this spiral bound, I have probably about 25 copies left that I'm willing to let you guys have for the cost of printing. They were $11 a piece for printing, and I think if we throw in $5 for shipping, I'll be happy to send you one. That's $5 in the US. We'd have to see what it is to get it overseas. But if you're interested in that, just email me, araya@dragonwithin.com, and we'll see about getting you a copy. Because I'd love for them to be used and not just sitting on a shelf, especially if you have a ebook copy and you want to have something in print and don't necessarily need the full version of the paperback, and you like the spiral bound aspect. So we're going to go through the air dragon today. And I wanted to also share this piece, part of their lineage. I do have the canvases. As I said, I don't have the air dragon right here, but I have the copper dragon, who is part of the air dragon lineage, and I have the white dragon. And so those three are really great ones to work with to bring you into third, fourth, and fifth dimensional perspectives, to lift you out maybe of a situation that you're stuck in, or trying to see daylight, trying to maybe get out of a box the way you've thought of it before, and have a fresh look at it, have a fresh insight. And the air dragons are specialists with that. I do have a wonderful story, because I want to start telling more and more stories and having you guys share your stories in the group, because we have actually a lot of new members who every answered question now, when you join the group, you have to answer a question, and they're putting in there that they're having these experiences. They see the dragons, but they really want to learn more. They want to know how to interact with them, and that's what we're here for. So today I'm going to actually read through a little bit of the air dragon from the book, but I wanted to share a story. Maybe I'll do that at the end of the read, so that we can just share this part first. So this is actually from the Dragon Within, and that's dragonwithin.com is where you can get it. This is the older version, but the new cover it's a smaller format to throw in a purse or a backpack. All right, so each of the dragons in the book, besides the history of their work and how they're connected to our bodies, geometries, our movement into the world, I show how to work with each of them. And each of them has a mantra. Each of them has a metal or a stone that they work with, or both. Each of them has specific beings or masters that they work with. So I wanted to go through the air dragon as an example today, because for some reason perspective is on my heart. And so the air dragon associated with Kuan Yin, her function is main carrier into consciousness through compassion. So everything that the dragons do is about compassion. Everything is moving through the heart space, whether it's with the wisdom center or the power center. Because it emanates from the heart space, this is why the dragons hold such an incredible energy when you connect into them, of that unconditional love, of that incredible amount of just presence and majesty that they have, that you just feel this glowing emanation coming from them. And so this is the dragon lineage that is the main carrier into consciousness through compassion. So what does that mean? That's into consciousness, into your awareness, into perspective. They work with amber and yellow topaz is the stone associated with them. So if you like stones and have stones around, holding those stones while you're meditating with them will help bring those energies in and through. Their metal is brass, which is interesting. This is for the air dragon, but higher up in the lineage, copper is actually the one that holds all the wisdom lineage, right? So copper and brass aren't too far apart, which I find interesting because all the information came separately from them. Their mantra, mi rua tune ao, mi rua tune ao, mi rua tune ao. And you calling that over and over again and moving it internally and voicing it, that will bring the dragon forward. That's calling him in so that you can work with them. So the air dragon, I'm just going to read directly from the book. This is sort of fun, like a little story time. And we do have book clubs starting this week. We don't always work directly with the book. We have a lot of amazing discussions. But if you want to dive in and have your journey really get kicked off with a bang, I would suggest the book club. And I do have space left. We've got a wonderful tight group, a lot international, from Australia to South Africa to Canada and beyond. So it's a really nice big group as far as distancing across the world, pulling in those pillars. So the air dragon creates massive vortices between the heavens and earth to transfer information and energy between the two into consciousness. These create upheaval and clearing on a massive scale, both personally and planetarily. The air dragons create the hurricanes and typhoons on the planet to bring consciousness and shift to areas of dense energy, breaking up, transforming, and imbuing with new levels of consciousness and community. Look at every hurricane that's happened. It awakens people. It shifts the energy. I know that Hurricane Katrina, part of what brought it about was a need to get rid of a lot of dense energy that was around the Caribbean, around voodoo and old dark black magic. I can claim that because I'm originally from New Orleans area. And I know what is held underneath in that region energetically. That changed dramatically after Hurricane Katrina. So just a little thing to think about, another level of perspective, right? The air dragons are powerful beings with massive wings and large bodies of a yellowish-orange luster. The male air dragon of Mu extends through most of the China coastline and up into the northernmost regions of Siberia. The female holds in position the eastern regions of North America, from the Appalachian Range all the way to the Elizabeth Islands of Canada. So those locations of the air dragons in the planet, of the 12 of Mu that are holding the tectonic plates, they actually relate to the consciousness level of those areas. So you can see with the male holding a very old wisdom lineage with all the ancient arts of healing, acupuncture, the Confucianist, Lao Tzu, the Buddhists, all the ancient teachings, they come from that region of the world predominantly. That's a very interesting thing in comparison and contrast to the feminine, the female air dragon who holds the whole region up the northeastern United States, up the whole eastern coast and seaboard of the US and Canada. What lies within that region? All of the new thought that came with a new democracy being formed. That was a new thought in the world. That was a new way to operate. That was a new way to have autonomy, personal freedom, individual rights in a way that hadn't been written into a constitution before. So those carry that energy. It's very interesting to realize that. So pay attention to that in your books if you're reading about the other ones and where they sit, and look at how they correlate to those cultures. So to work with the air dragons, visualize sitting on a cloud halfway between the heavens and the earth. Begin chanting the mantra and feel your head lift, either skyward or towards the earth. If your head goes skyward, you are working with the female air dragon. Your head will naturally flow in an anti-clockwise circle, as if drawing a large circle with the breath all the way around the heavens. As the mantra continues, a great vortex will open up and you will feel it gradually increase in speed and size, funneling into the crown chakra. This is the direct path for new consciousness to arrive into your light body when it's fully anchored. You will begin work with this when you move into working in the eye of the air dragon. Working with the male air dragon, you will find your breath drawing a similar anti-clockwise circle downward, encompassing the earth and creating a similar, although perfectly mirrored vortex from the earth up into the root chakra. This will bring a surge of communication through the lower chakra and the core of the planet. Continue chanting the mantra and breathing into the vortex, empowering it to spin higher, wider, and faster until you feel or sense a pillar of energy entering the core of the vortex, either from the heavens or from the core of the planet. As it does so, you will feel a natural point to let go of the mantra and just move into a deep meditative space within the vortex. So it goes on to talk about that in a deeper way and breathing into it and working with the breath and how you do that. But I want you to move into feeling the freedom to follow your body as you're working with the dragon. So this is an example of the air dragon, the mantra to pull them in. The dragons love movement. They love to use your whole essence. So you can sit in meditation with them very powerfully, and that's how I lead guided meditations in all my classes and programs in the book club. We do one every week. But you can take that to another level. You can dance it. You can move with it. One of the greatest experiences I had, especially with the air dragons, was when I was asked in a group in Egypt. This was very early on in my journey, and I was just bringing the dragon work out. And I was invited, we were doing a hot air balloon ride with the whole group. 2 massive hot air balloons went up. So the balloons were traveling fairly close together over the Valley of the Kings. And I got to call in the air dragons while we were in the air. And it was one of the most powerful experiences to feel them come in and moving and swirling in and around both balloons. Yet the balloons were stabilized. They created the energy in the wind. You could feel the wind and the energy pick up around you. And we had a very amazing experience with them coming in and around the group. And everyone in the group felt something almost magical from that. A lift up in the heart space that lifted them into an awareness of so much more than what we were flying over and what we were seeing. So that's another way. If you are out where you can be sort of lifted up, maybe you're in a treehouse, or maybe you're on a bridge suspended over a river, somewhere where you can feel more lightness of being up. Maybe you're a skydiver, maybe you're a hang glider. Call them in when you're out there and see how it shifts. I will say it's the air dragons also that most often give me the confirmation at the end of an activation. I've mentioned before how when I finish an activation, they come in and like there can be no wind at all, and it'll lift up a wind right as the activation completes, and I feel the geometries kick into place and the opening happen and the eye come out. There's an eye that comes, Tiamat comes and looks through the portal, but then there will be a channel of energy that lasts for about 15 to 30 seconds as a breeze, really profound breeze, and then it calms again. And that's always my confirmation of, okay, it's done. Thank you, air dragons. So pay attention to that kind of thing when you're working with them out on your own. They are beautiful, they are profound, and they will bring you into insight. And if you want to work with more than one dimensional lineage, as I mentioned, look at the diagram in the book and call them in. So for example, the air dragons, you would have the air dragon, the white dragon, and the copper dragon, all in a lineage. The copper dragon being from Orion, carrying the 5th dimensional template, and the white dragon being close to the bridge between that, not fully 4th dimensional, but with the intergalactic, taking us into that next level where we get close to that doorway with the crystalline doorway that the black, the white, and crystal dragon hold for us to move then into much higher levels of conscious awareness. So the lineages do go beyond that. Those will just be the 3 that I mentioned for basics, because that's definitely what's in the book for you. We do move into a lot more than that in the different programs I do. But if you're wanting to figure out, what do I do next? Who should I be working with? Do I have dragons around me? I do 20-minute discovery calls, and I do 20-minute dragon readings. And they're a great way to dip your toe in and just sort of get an idea of, well, where should I head with this? What should I do? And I will hands down say that besides the tools that you can work with on your own, which are great for people who definitely have schedules that don't align to the programs and classes, There's online classes now. There's guided meditations. There's so many things on dragonwithin.com that give you tools, like the Oracle deck, which is under the specials tab in the lair. But the book club, the Dragon Within book club that we're starting on Thursday, so on Earth Day in 2 days, we start at 11:30 a.m. Pacific, my time, and we go for 2 hours every week for 6 weeks. And in that 2 hours, we have incredible metaphysical discussions about anything and everything that you want to bring in and ask about, and how and where it connects to the dragons, because they're connected to nearly everything. And they're the underlying principle that's been holding this universe and this matrix since the inception of it. They were the ones that said, all right, we'll hold the grids. We're specialists in geometry. We got this. We're going to hold the grids for this experiment and this experience to happen on the earth, to have the earth plane created. So there's so much that's available, and even though you can bring in questions from the book, we don't necessarily follow it like I just did on this little reading, and say, you have to read these by next week and then we'll talk about it. But if you have questions, here I am as the one who brought it through and can absolutely answer them for you. It's a great way to dive in, and everybody that's done it, there's actually several in the group that have done it before. They're joining again. I've had that happen multiple times. And then those people often are the ones that end up doing the Eye of the Dragon and the Way of the Dragonheart programs down the road, because they see the value in the work and how quickly things shift in their life. I think that's the big takeaway, is having a lot of their questions answered, but then knowing, literally like seeing leaps and bounds happen in a short 6-week period that catapult for the next phase. And with the timing that's going on the planet right now, this is a great year to do that. This spring, and what's happening here in the next several months, is a really great timing to do that. So I wish you a fabulous week. I hope you enjoyed the information about the air dragons. Catch it back on the replay if you're just joining late. And feel free to share it out for those of your friends that are into dragons, don't know how to work with them, but need to go to that next level with them. So have a wonderful week. I will see you next Tuesday. Bye, everybody.